Hello everybody, and welcome to an experiment. Today, we're going to see how organic versions of mainstream foods stack up against each other. We have breakfast cereals, drinks, and snacks, and we're going to see how they compare to each other with price, taste, and just overall worthwhileness. So, let us get to the tasting. I'm just going to put these back behind me just so you can see that they're there. And I'm going to talk about a little bit about where I got them, how much they were. I think that is a big factor when we talk about organic food. So I went to Better Health Market. I think it's a chain as far as I know. I don't think it's just around where I am. And I got these 3 organic things, and I just went to Meijer to get the rest. So the interesting part is that the organic stuff is almost double the price. Always, 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 always. The Cheerios were, I think, around $2.99, and the organic Cheerios were almost $6. The apple juice was $2.49. The organic apple juice was almost $6. The Cheez-Its were around $2.99 again, and the organic ones were, I think, around $5. But it almost seems like a ripoff. This one was the most surprising to me because this is literally a featherweight. It feels like there's nothing in here. It feels like an empty box. And that's when I felt like I was being scammed. But I find it very interesting. So let me show you up close of the boxes and then up close on what the food actually looks like. I think the boxes are something interesting to look at because it really shows what matters to the organic foods versus the mainstream foods. The organic foods like to tout how they are non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, etc., which is amazing, especially if you have those kinds of dietary restrictions. But it's interesting that they plaster that all over there, which is good to know. And you can tell how the mainstream don't. They do not care about that very much. The only thing that I would say come close to that would be the Honey Nut Cheerios, which talks about potentially lowering cholesterol. I don't know if that's a solid claim they can have. I'm not sure about that, but I think it's interesting. And the food itself looks a lot, this is going to sound very cliche, but a lot more rustic. It looks like it's very just kind of almost done by hand in a way, and just kind of, it has a nice look and feel to it. And we'll see how it stacks up when we actually taste it. So let's start, like we're starting off our day with a nice bowl of Cheerios, and let's see what you would rather get and what is more for your money. Honey Nut Cheerios, or what brand is this? 1 Degree Organic Food. So let's see if the price is worth the flavor. So let's just get our base with our regular Honey Nut Cheerios. Maybe I should have a spoon, not my hands. Ooh. I washed my hands, don't worry. And of course, Honey Nut Cheerios, freaking the best ever. Like, this is just a classic and apparently heart-healthy breakfast. I would eat all of these. And as I always say, I'm going to eat all these because you already know I'm going to. So Honey Nut Cheerios, nice little sweetness, nice little presentation there. It's just cute, and I love it. This one, which I will show you, is a lot darker. Probably darker oats used or something along those lines. And what you can't smell anything. Oh, you can't smell anything there either. Well, never mind. Now let's see what these have to offer. A lot crunchier, a lot earthier, a lot how can I describe it? It's a lot less honey-y. So like imagine if regular Cheerios tasted more like they had like a whole grain type thing to them. So it basically, because I think there are whole grain Cheerios potentially. That's basically kind of what this is a whole grain Honey Nut Cheerio, sprouted oat honey O's or whatever they're called. You don't get very much honey with this. Not very much sweetness. It's a lot more whole grain type thing. So yeah, good. It's probably healthier for you, I would assume. I'll take a look at the numbers and kind of decide that for myself in post. Late night editor Anthony here. And I just wanted to throw in a quick side note talking about which of the cereals is better and more worth it. 100% the Cheerios. It's healthier in every way, less sugar, more better, basically everything. The other one I think had like 1 more gram of protein. That was it.
So yeah, no reason to not buy the Cheerios. Thought I'd throw that in there.
But yeah, they're fine. I still prefer Honey Nut Cheerios because they have that certain appeal, that certain flavor that I like. But these aren't bad either. If you are being health conscious and looking for more, having you have dietary restrictions, fantastic option. It's a great option. And then moving on with our day, after we have breakfast, we have a little drink to sip it down. So, regular apple juice, Indian Summer, and this one is, what is the brand? Lakewood Organic. And I honestly like the look of the organic one better because this one just kind of looks like you can tell it's just like processed classic apple juice that you just find anywhere. This one looks a bit more like someone, like I had Ted down the street. I said, "Hey Ted, you got me some apple juice?" And I saw him just crush it with his bare hand, and this is what came out of it. Weird picture, but that's what I am seeing. This one smells like, that's what it kind of reminds me of, fresh cider. Like you go to a cider mill and you get fresh cider. That's kind of what it reminds me of. So let's go for the taste. Love Indian Summer. I always have. I love apple juice, so I get them a lot. So I'm very familiar with that flavor. It's fantastic. I'm excited for this one. Out of all of the ones that I got the organic version of, this is the one that I'm most excited about because I don't know, something about just fresh pressed fruit, apple, everything. I just love apples. Apples are great. Ooh. Oh, that's good. The Indian Summer's good. This is so much better. Absolutely knocks it out of the park. 100% recommend getting organic apple juice. I think when it comes to juice in general, I would probably more likely go for an organic type thing. Just because you know it's going to be less just throwing in some high fructose corn syrup and it actually being apple. And you get that crisp niceness to it. It's a lot less, it's less sweet, but in a different way, because the processed manufactured apple juice it kind of gets you in the jaw sometimes because it's so sweet. This one is a little bit more sour, but it still has that nice freshness to it. So 100% recommend to get specifically this one. Because obviously I don't have any other experience with other organic apple juices besides like ciders and stuff, but would recommend this 100%. And finally, we have Cheez-Its, and this one kind of scares me a little bit. Almond flour farmhouse cheddar squares. So definitely trying to be Cheez-Its. And as I said before, and kind of a note for me in post, I will show you the boxes when I start talking about them, and then the snacks when I start talking about the snacks. So yeah, the Cheez-Its look a more clean cut, like they know what they're doing. They're making trillions of these probably. And this one looks like a little bit more rustic, like your grandpa came over and said, "Hey, look what I made you." And I'd be like, absolutely, I'm going to try that. So let's get our benchmark with specifically the extra toasty Cheez-Its, because that's the only one you should get because they are the best. To be honest with you, I think this is probably the third box of extra toasty Cheez-Its I've gone through in the past week. So very familiar with my Cheez-Its. And that box is going to be gone. It's polished off by supper at the least. I don't know why I said supper. I don't usually say supper. So let me get through those. I don't know what it is. I don't know when they came out with extra toasty, but that was a genius marketing ploy because people like me love that kind of little toastiness to it. Perfect. And I assume they sell because they're still around. So let's. Ooh, it smells definitely different. I don't know why I'm so apprehensive. Almond flour kind of throws me off because I guess I didn't process that this is kind of like that crackers would have like a floury base to it. I don't know why I didn't think about that because like when you think, as soon as you start thinking about it, it makes sense. So let's. Oh, I'm detecting nuttiness. There is something that's interesting. It tastes like a lot more like real cheese. Cheez-Its, I don't think count as real cheese to me because it just kind of has that classic Cheez-It flavor. I mean, these are fine. I'm not even sure if I'd go in for a second one. It's interesting. I wouldn't pay double for it because not only is it double the price, but like just if you can, like if you see, I don't even know if it's in frame, but the boxes, there's so much in here and there's nothing in there. There's literally nothing in there. So yeah, nothing artificial in here, but like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan, if I'm honest. It's very interesting. It's an interesting flavor. It definitely has a real cheddar to it. Cheddar isn't my favorite kind of cheese. I'm a cheese person. I like me some Gouda and some Pecco Romano to put on my pizzas and etc. All right, side tangent about cheese later, or for another video. I don't even know. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't think that I would buy it again. I would. So let me bring all of the products back just so I can talk about them as a whole for a last final little review about them. So with the Cheerios, I would get the organic ones if it's the price that kind of is the steep hill to cross when it comes to organic stuff, because it can't just be equal. It has to be greater, because then that's where the price makes sense. Or like I said, a lot of these are great alternatives if you have dietary restrictions, which is a great thing to be conscious of. So yeah, interesting. Cheerios, potentially. Apple juice, 100% will get again. And these, I'm all good. I'm all set. So, yes, Two different but one's one's So, yeah, very great. Thank you for joining me for this cool little experiment. It was kind of fun to see what the organic community, is that in a community? The organic community has to offer when it comes to mainstream snacks and their alternatives. So thanks for joining me. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the content, and I'll see you next time.